On prisms and cylinders for the review, I told you guys start by drawing a big rectangle and two bases. So I'm just gonna write a big rectangle. In this case, the bases are two triangles. Now for my triangles, I always look for the 90-degree symbol. And I ask myself, which two numbers cross on 90 degrees? In this case, I can see 3.6 and 9. I'm looking for the 90-degree symbol. It's made by 3.6 and 9. I'm going to multiply those two, 3.6 times 9, and I'll divide it by 2 because it is a triangle. So I'm just going to grab my calculator, and I'm just going to go 3.6 times 9 divided by 2, and it gives me 16.2 for each of these. Now, looking at the figure, I asked myself too, which number has nothing to do with my triangles? I see the triangles, one side is 4, one side is 8, the other side is 9. So the number that has nothing to do with triangles is 6. The perimeter, when I add all the sides of my triangle, so 8 plus 4 plus 9, that gives me 21. That is the long side of my rectangle. I added all the sides of the triangle. Then I'm looking at 21 times 6. That is 126. Just add everything. And it gives me 158.4. I'm looking at a big rectangle and two bases. That's basically it, including cylinders. I'm looking at a big rectangle and two bases. For my circles, I notice that the radius is 3. Right? From the center all the way to the edge, I notice it's 3. Because the radius is 3, I'm going to call this 9 pi. 3 squared. The number has nothing to do with my triangles. It's 3. So that's the short side. Because the radius is 3, the long side of the rectangle is 6 pi. Radius times 2. Now my rectangle, I'm looking at 6 pi times 3. I'm going to call this 18 pi. Add everything. 9 pi plus 18 pi plus 9 pi. That should give you 36 pi. Any questions on prisms and cylinders? Remember, there's 6 of these on the quiz tomorrow. We're okay? Now, pyramids and cones. Let me start with the pyramid. I came in and mentioned that it is a base and a bunch of triangles. When they're all triangles, in this case, I identify the base by giving you all 3 sides of the triangle. The base is the one triangle where you know all 3 sides. I see that I know this side is 3, this side is 3, this side is 3. So the little triangle at the bottom is the base. I identify by labeling all 3 sides. Now in that triangle, I'm looking at the 2 numbers. I'm going to do my base. I'm looking at 2 numbers that multiplied, 2 numbers across the 90 degrees. I'm looking at 3 and 2.6. 3 and my 2.6. I'm going to multiply them divided by 2, and that gives me my base. In this case, it happens to be 3.9. I'm going to write it in blue. That's just the base. Now let me take a look at the other sides. There's a triangle on each side. For the triangles at the side, the 2 numbers across the 90 degrees, I'm looking at 3 and 11. So I'm going to go 3 times 11 divided by 2. And use a calculator for that. You should get 16.5. Now add everything. And you get 53.4. Cones. Looking at cones, my example number 4, I said it's a circle, and then the side, if turns to something like this, I showed you guys that yesterday. The radius is 11, so I'm just gonna go 11 squared, so that gives me 121 pi for the circle. For the other side, I'm gonna go 11 times 24.6. That gives me 270.6 pi. And when I add everything, it gives me 391.6 pi. Or in your case, 391.6 pi. Any questions on these?